Can you build muscle as a natural athlete? What's up, guys? It's your brother from another mother, Coach Kam Izzwan. So before we begin, please support our channel by liking and sharing it with your friends and your neighbors and your cousin. Welcome to our 12th episode of Kam Izzwan podcast channel. In our channel, we bring in credible, successful individual in their respective field. So, back to the question. Can we build muscle naturally? Our guest, Sims, will share his experience, at the same time give you his honest advice to you all. First thing first, Sims, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you very much, Cam.
And many people, even I was one of them before I became an athlete, assume that you cannot build muscle as a natural athlete. Is it true?
It's not true. Coming from me right now, it's not true. But if we trace it back to my young age, I always believe there is some way you can build muscle naturally to a point. There must be a limit, right? A human natural limit to how much you can build. That's what I always believe. And now that I got into natural bodybuilding, competing as an athlete, you definitely can. Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah.
100% agree on that part. Now, before we touch on the competitive athlete, how do you expose yourself into natural competitive bodybuilding? Share with the audience.
Okay, this is a very interesting. I have a very interesting story to it. Unlike many of my friends that are athletes, maybe they're amateur, maybe they're pro. They started out wanting to look very good, maybe they are inspired by the bodybuilders back then, Arnold Schwarzenegger or whoever that drives them into going to the gym. For me, I never inspired by big people. I wanted to look good.
Okay.
At first, I started when I was 14, so Form 2 in school. I wanted to look good, but I know I don't want to get that big.
Great. Yeah.
So there's no reason for me to use any drugs at all. So when I first started, I was just home training, like a lot of people, home training. I have a pair of dumbbells, up to 10 kilos each. And then moving to university, I signed up my first gym in Shah Alam, Stadium Shah Alam.
Okay.
There's a very old gym in there. And then I started training. I see a very calisthenic guy and also a very big dude, Abang. They both claim natural. I don't doubt any one of them. And then they shared their experience, how to train properly, how to diet properly, and then I go from there. And then my university years took an interesting turn. I was doing a diploma in education in Shah Alam. And then I moved to sports science.
Okay.
And I always...
Well, I'm curious about,
Okay.
why did you jump to sports science?
Okay, so before I chose education, education was my second choice. I always wanted to go into exercise and sports. And because of the lack of opportunities, or maybe I couldn't see the opportunities at that time, I decided to go with my second option, education. And so growing up, I was always an active kid, playing basketball, badminton, taekwondo, a little bit here and there. So which is why I wanted to do sports or exercise.
Makes sense.
So after doing my diploma for almost 3 years, I decided I don't want to continue this because I don't see my passion in it. I'm just going to grow up into an adult with boring life, and I hate myself.
Describe boring life in your mind at that time.
So boring life is waking up, no energy, going to work, waiting to get off work, go home, and do something you like.
Ouch.
Did anything happen to you?
No, I mean, like, when you say that, it's so relatable with everyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, a message to everyone is that if you have the chance, make that change. I mean, you don't have to make it now. I started my diploma. Halfway through, I regret it already. But then I bite my teeth, I finished it, and then I make the change, or else I'm gonna regret even more. So the best time is now, or sometime in future soon, right?
Okay.
So after I make that change of heart, but my plan was always going abroad to studies with my after talking to my parents, and then they said it's up to you what you want to study, but you're going abroad. If you want to go abroad, you're going abroad anyways. So I'm like, if I'm going abroad, I might as well do something I like instead of something I don't like and spend more money there. So I changed. I go into sport and exercise sciences in the University of Birmingham. So
May I ask why? Why UK?
basically we go by the ranking of university, and also that time there was already a lot of
Reason why I ask, I pursue my fitness and personal training in Australia.
okay.
So the first thing that popped up in my mind was US, followed by UK, then Australia. And I choose Australia because my high school friends, majority of them are there. Hence why I went to Aussie. For your case, it was just because of their ranking.
It's a little bit of mixture of everything. I had some friends at that time going to Aussie, but Aussie is Australia. But I kind of don't like if I go abroad and I still stay in the same circle, the same social circle. So when I went over to the UK, the reason why I chose UK is that US at that time seemed not too safe with the mass shooting news all over. And I think US and Australia probably you got to spend a little bit more, just to be very picky about it. US you spend more in your life expenses, and the Australia is that the students' tuition fee is slightly higher, just slightly. So I was like, I'm going there alone. I don't know anyone. I'm just gonna make new friends over there. That's why I chose the UK, and also the ranking. The top 10 university that has good tuition, good education in sports or exercise sciences is, I think 5 out of top 10 is from the UK. University of Bath, University of Exeter, Birmingham, and a few more. Yeah, that's why I go over there, and I started training more having a better structure to my training. So that time I had like 4 years training under my belt in the gym. Not very consistent, I don't have any wow results. And then in the UK, the environment, the atmosphere, it's almost every one of your friends go to the gym, almost.
Right.
Not to say that they are huge or very strong, but at least they are going.
Lifestyle,
exactly. In Malaysia, most of your friends, I think I'm the only one in the bunch. Right? You feel the same? So that kind of gives you a little bit more fuel to keep going, and then it was I was there for 3 years.
Okay.
The first year I was really small. I never thought about competing at all. And then the second year, I'm like, I kind of want to do this.
Okay.
Even though it's not the reason why I started, but after going for a while, I see the appeal. It kind of drives me into it already. And I'm like, if I don't do it this year, in my second year of study, my third year, I couldn't do it because it's going to be very busy academically. So I just decided January 2018, I started my prep.
Okay.
I placed almost last in, I competed twice that year.
Right.
Both competition almost last place.
So you prep yourself?
I had a coach. I was coached by 3D MJ.
Oh, okay.
3D Muscle Journey. I competed last year again, also coached by 3D MJ, just different coaches.
Right.
And yeah, it was quite a successful prep. But yeah, I placed last because I was way too small. Yeah, so that's how I got into it. So throughout the journey, I never have the appeal of I want to look like C-Bum. I think C-Bum is like the biggest name now. Almost everyone I see, I want to be like C-Bum. Or I have very young clients. I'm a trainer. I want to be like C-Bum. When I'm 25, 26, I want to be like C-Bum. So I wasn't driven by any physique of that sort, which is why I stayed in my lane. And also the, what do you call it? The side effects of using PEDs.
Right.
Which is why I never.
Okay.
I wouldn't even consider in future.
Okay, share your journey when you are in UK competing. The prep, the struggle. People want to know that part because here in Malaysia, people assume if you're a student, it's impossible for you to prep for a comp. Or it's almost impossible for you to diet. So share your journey as a student, prepping for a show. Because I have my own experience.
Okay.
And I did very well, alhamdulillah, because I strategized my time very well. So how about you in UK?
Okay. I think a lot of people, I think first we have to go about how you prep. The way I prep or the way 3DMJ, the concept of my coaches is that you need to have some form of flexibility in both your diet and also your training. So my training, it was 5 days a week. It doesn't have to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday and Saturday. You can play around with the time depending on your recovery if you're still sore. Same thing goes with diet. You count your calories, you count your macros. There's not a certain type of food that you have to eat or a certain type of food that you cannot eat at all. Right. So during the prep, I still ate ramen, Japanese ramen. I still ate burgers if the calories add up correctly. Although you can have it, I don't recommend having it too often. Right. So having that flexibility and at the same time, like you said, planning your time properly. And like I said, I was doing it in my second year. It was busy, but not as busy as my final year. If it's final year, I probably wouldn't have done it. If I did, which I can tell from my friend's experience, and I don't think you're going to have a very comfortable prep.
Right.
Prep, you have to suffer, but you don't have to suffer that much. Yeah, so planning my time properly. And at that time, I was doing part-time in Subway.
Okay.
So Subway, they allowed their employees to have their own food, like Subway food. And it's kind of slightly more convenient that you have more salad, more lettuce available to you. So one of my meals was taken care of already.
Nice.
So less planning on my end.
Okay, I'm going to add on that part, yeah? The part where he mentioned flexibility. I understand 3DMJ, one of their approaches is IFYM. So for those who don't know, IFYM is if it fits your macros. Means you, correct me if I'm wrong, yeah? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Good.
80%, 70% of their food consists whole food. The remaining, you can be flexible a bit. Is it true?
I think that's true. I'm not sure if they always go by flexible dieting. Not sure if they ever mention IFYM, but what you just explained is absolutely correct. 80% whole foods, 20% fun foods.
Fun foods.
Any food you like, and if it fits into your macros, you're good. Yeah.
Why I want to touch on this part also, there are people out there say that it's impossible for you to prepare by eating donuts. It's impossible for you to prepare by eating chocolates.
I love donuts. I still had it during my prep.
Okay. Yeah. One of my experience, this was before I went to Aussie, was Mr. KL. One of my best physique was eating 24 donuts before my show. They call it shit loading. Okay. It's not advisable because it doesn't work the year after when I went to Aussie.
Okay.
I was lucky enough because my body fat was extremely low. So when I shit load with it, my body just transformed. The vein just popped out of nowhere. I just lost 3 kilos within 12 hours. Naturally. Yeah. So at that moment, I was like, okay, something that I don't know. What is it? I don't know. So when I went to Aussie, I started to learn. So I started to learn about this IFYM, that you can still have this kind of food, the fun food. But I was lucky enough, 24 donut works for me.
Yeah.
Lucky enough because you only work once. But anyway, yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Very lucky though. 24 donuts.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for sharing on that part. As a student, part-time, you still manage your food, and you know how to strategize when you want to compete, when not busy. Okay, now the next question. I understand that you are the president of the WNBF Malaysia and also owns a restaurant. Am I right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, can you share with us regards to the WNBF and also your nature of business?
I think I would like to touch on my restaurant business first.
Sure.
Both of them kind of started around the same time.
Okay.
So the prepping of getting WNBF Malaysia in, and then the prepping of opening a food restaurant, healthy food chain, a restaurant. They started both around October last year.
Okay.
Which is, I was prepping last year. That was my last show, but then I am able to cope with both because I have partners.
Okay.
So with WNBF Malaysia, I have a partner. His name is Edward. He is a WNBF pro in bodybuilding. He turned pro last year, October.
Nice.
And for my food business, it's a healthy food restaurant. We started it because we want more healthy food option available.
Okay.
And usually it's more expensive. We try to keep the price lower as best as we could. It's still more expensive than normal casual food, but within the range of healthy food, trying to keep it very reasonable. And with that, I have my partners are my parents.
I see.
So just a quick backstory about it is that I competed in 2018, right?
Okay.
After I competed, both my parents got interested into working out. Previously, I tried convincing, didn't work. After I competed, they're like, can you like give us some guidance? And my dad went from 103 or 105 kilograms down to 77.
Wow.
In 4 months.
Wow.
And he didn't count macros because he wasn't good with technologies. He did portion tracking. Still, he ate outside food. Wonton mee, he loves it.
Right.
And my mom started learning counting macros. To this day, they're still working out. And
Nice.
they are competing in my show in October.
Wow.
In 4 weeks, yeah.
Oh, I'm assuming this is masters lah.
They're both masters.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
See, your biggest supporter is your parents.
Exactly. And then within our family, we had this. They both, mainly them, having this habit of prepping healthy food so that the vegetables and all are always available at home instead of just snacks, chocolate bars. So, and then we had this idea of we can have a restaurant so that the food that we always prep, we can prep it in restaurant, maybe have even more options. And then we have more meat options for more people.
Right.
So that's how it started. And both my parents are helping out a lot with the food business.
I'm very certain all business started by them creating for themselves first. Even for me, how I started my business is like, hey, if there's someone can help me with training, it'll be awesome. So for him, more food, more veggie, let's do business.
Exactly. And right now, I would say that my the more dominating one for my work life is WNBF.
Okay.
Because the show is so close, it's less than 4 weeks out. And there's a lot to deal with right now.
Yeah, share with us, because people assume to organize a bodybuilding show is just find sponsors, find location, open for registration and ads.
Exactly. That is correct if you just want to have one competition.
Okay.
Right?
Makes sense.
And my partner, he has a lot of great ideas as of how to have a competition. And we both share the same vision. We want to have a truly natural platform for people who are like us. We never touch on anything. Everything that we took is whey protein, creatine.
Right.
Or maybe BCAA. And in order to have that stage to drive in more business opportunities, sponsorships, we want to have a competition that is not to say glamorous, but we want to have a competition that is well-rounded, taking care of our athletes, our sponsors,
Right.
our audience, So we are doing quite a lot, which is why we are like scratching our heads all the time, because we had a good venue. We had unexpected amount of people signing up.
Oh, nice.
We expected 150,
Right.
which are quite a lot already for first time show.
Amazing.
But we broke that 150 in 4 days of registration. Right now we have over 250.
May I know where this participant from? Local, international?
Okay. The demographics are we are roughly around 20 to 22% foreigners. The rest all locals.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
And then the foreigners we have from almost all over the world. We have Egypt, UAE, Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, some from the UK, European side.
Okay. Okay, nice. What's your aim as a competitive natural athlete, and what do you see? Where do you see natural bodybuilding show
In Malaysia.
in Malaysia?
In Malaysia, I would draw inspiration. To answer your question, I would draw inspiration from other countries. So for, let's say, Taiwan, as of right now, there's only WNBF Taiwan, the only natural bodybuilding federation. And as of right now, for Malaysia, it's the same case. So WNBF Taiwan is almost 6 years old.
Okay.
We are still a baby, but learning from our big brothers, Taiwan, WNBF UAE, they have awesome shows. So we want to have, first, we want to keep our integrity as of drug testing and also polygraph testing, which is new to a lot of people. A lot of people don't know what it is. So for your audience, polygraph testing is basically lie detector test. It's a very serious procedure.
Right.
Banyak serious.
Right.
For real. We would put up some photos in our Instagram if you would like to look up or Google it. The usual one is for criminals. And the full version is 2 hours. So for our competitors, we are doing 20 to 30 minutes only on drug use.
Right.
So not everyone have the same set of questions. If your experience is slightly different, then the officer is going to ask slightly different question.
Right.
The officer is American Polygraph Association affiliated.
Okay.
They're verified. They have to renew their license every 1 or 2 years. Professional. So only when every competitor has to go through that test, only when you pass, you're able to step on our stage.
Oh wow.
If you fail, you'll be banned.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the ban is for 10 years.
Right.
So a lot of people are making claims when we first announced. They're like, I'm gonna compete. I'm natural, but then for some reason they didn't sign up.
Right.
Maybe for some other reason. Maybe it's because of the polygraph.
Right.
So we're doing polygraph for everyone, and we are only urine testing the winners.
Okay.
Or top 2 or top 3. We're still deciding on that. But the bare minimum is that whoever turned pro, have the pro status, he will be urine tested.
Okay.
And with WNBF, why is it different? So in other countries, there are a lot more natural federations, right? What makes it different is that we do polygraph. Second thing is we do off-season random testing.
Oh, okay.
So I find it quite interesting, right?
Right.
So especially if you are pro or you have our membership as an amateur, it's in the terms and condition. You have to agree that we will come to you and take your urine samples. And if you fail to cooperate after 2 or 3 trials, we try to contact you or you don't reply at all, we will take away your pro status or we will take away your membership. And you have to agree to do that testing. It's random. We won't say it's every 2 months, every 4 months, we won't say. And sometimes if you show up to our event as a pro, we will grab you to the toilet.
Right. And they actually practice in powerlifting here in Malaysia.
Okay.
So I competed recently in March. Then we have to do this exam. We have to read everything. And they did mention that part. They can randomly, or any of your friend could just tell them he might be using. They can just randomly do the urine test, and you have 24 hours to report.
Yes.
If you do not report, they know they're still gonna find you and they're gonna do the check. So it's interesting lah, because my personal experience, back in 2011 when I won my IMBA, they did urine test to me. So as I stepped down, a dude from Asada, 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 approached me and say, "Hi, I'm from Asada. I need to do a urine test." He followed me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I went to take photo. I went to the washroom. He followed everywhere. Then he say, "Okay, sign on this document. We give you 2 specimens. Pee in this cup."
Yes.
I did that, and he was looking at my balls and my penis like literally, you cannot hide it. I was like, "What the hell?" Oh, so this is how urine test being done. So yeah, and as a natural athlete, everything goes well. So that was my experience. But now having polygraph, I'm trying to digest. I've seen movies.
Yeah. It's exactly like in the movies.
Wow.
I did my polygraph test, and also my partner Edward. It's exactly like in the movies. You'll be seated on a chair, somewhat like this chair, and then you will have 4 readings. First is your breathing on your chest. They won't take your heart rate, your heartbeat. They won't take it. Breathing, your blood pressure. 2 on your fingers. 1 for your sweat.
Okay.
And the other one for your blood density. So for these 4, they will combine into their computer, their equipment, and then they will know if you are lying. And then it's not a yes or no result, like you're lying or not. It has a spectrum of scores. So if you have very low scores, so let's say, so for people out there who still are skeptical about polygraph testing, if having polygraph itself is not enough to have people aware they will be caught. If you somehow manage to pass the test, because the test is like 99% accurate, out of 100 people, there will be 1 person who can still pass the test, but you pass doesn't mean you score well.
Right.
So if your score is particularly low, we will still take you to the urine testing. So we say random, but we still pick you up and then test you. So don't risk it. If you really use some stuff, don't come to our show.
Just go at the federation.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'd like to add on a little bit on the urine testing part.
Okay.
The reason why we do that also.
Okay.
We follow you everywhere. We have to look at you pee. So male look at male, female look at female.
Right.
To make sure that you don't swap out your urine sample. So some people, they somehow find a way, they will buy some tools that look like our genitals.
Right.
And then when they pee, they would squeeze that. You get what I mean? They get the urine from their friend, and then they squeeze out. Then they can lie to the test, right? They can cheat. So this is why they follow you around.
I see.
Yeah.
Funny story, a quick one.
Yeah.
After winning my Victoria title in Aussie, I competed in Melbourne title. Okay. So I got 2nd place for overall. And this dude, he's from Texas or from somewhere. Not Texas, Tasmania.
Tasmania.
Came down to Melbourne and compete. And he got caught. But he got caught with opium. What the hell?
Oh.
So he's using hard drugs.
Yeah.
Maybe he went for a rave party before that, and he got caught using it. So I think urine test is not just for drugs,
Yes.
as in steroids, but they also check for hard drugs.
Exactly. We do that also. And you shouldn't take opium or any sort of party drugs 90 days before our competition.
Right.
But our recommendation is you don't take it throughout your prep.
So you can't take hard drugs.
I mean, to compete, I don't recommend at all.
Right.
With WNBF, don't take it throughout your prep, because
Okay.
that, when you're using that consistently, it has a sign that you're using that trying to cheat in your polygraph test, because it can soften your readings.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Hacks. That's not allowed.
Not allowed though.
Okay, so who should participate in this, the WNBF, and what are the difference between other federation? I mean, other natural federation.
Okay, I think we touched on that already. How we are different. We are doing polygraph testing. I don't think there's any other natural federation that does that. Even though they do, they wouldn't do such complete drug test. So for the urine testing, we are testing to the list of WADA.
Okay.
So the full list of WADA, if you look it up in their website, it's over 30 plus substances. So in some other natural federation, they only test for 6 stimulants or maybe 7. So if you pass that, you're natural. For them, you're natural. But if you pass that and you've come to our show and you fail, you shouldn't complain at all because we test for 30 plus substances, including those that you mentioned, the party drugs.
Yeah.
And then we do polygraph testing. And also, there's no excuse to skip a urine test. So if you win in our show, you got a gold medal, or you turn pro. You turn pro, you have to take it. And also we do random off-season testing. It's everywhere. If you look at, my partner went with me to Dubai in August. He got selected for random drug tests.
Okay.
We are waiting for the results to come back. So with our testing, we send it to the lab in the US. So it's not cheap. I don't think everyone would do it because it's very expensive. And to do it on multiple athletes is compounding, is even more expensive.
Right.
So we do that, and also when we don't skip at all. So I've heard from my friend's previous experience, he competed in another natural federation. He won a world title, and he wasn't tested.
Oh,
He wasn't, not just once,
right.
with the same organization, but he wasn't tested, which is why he and I now we both have strong faith in WNBF because of the integrity to natural athletes. So going back to your question, who should compete in WNBF is that if you're all about health, you train to be strong, you train to look good. I think most of us start training because we want to look good.
Agree.
Coming from a background that maybe you got bullied in school, you want to look good, you want to be strong, you want to stand for yourself, and you don't care about any fame, any profit. You don't use that to earn money or whatever. You never touch on any sort of drugs. You never look for shortcuts to get to your results. You should compete in WNBF because we did the very best to make sure everyone on stage is natural, and if they're not, their name will be announced.
Right.
Their placings will be snatched away, and then we would publicize it so everyone knows.
My point of view, who should participate? Anyone that dislike competing with people that enhance. Because I'm very certain there's so many people out there, he could win because he used steroid. I think he's winning, he's transforming because he's using steroid or cheating, I think. So if you really want to see whether there's a cheater or not, you could ask your friend or whoever wants to participate in natural competition in WNBF because they put so much effort and invest into the sports. So there's no cheater.
Exactly.
Unless you want to humiliate yourself, then by all means.
Exactly. I also thought of competing in some of the shows long time ago, but I didn't do it because I want a fair game.
Yeah.
I don't want to. If participating, knowing that I will lose, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
You know the results already. You won't win.
Very true.
Right?
A quick story, yeah? So I have numbers of clients who are natural. So one of these dude, he competed early this year for IVB Federation, or is it whatever federation that is not tested, okay? So he told me, first question was like, why do you choose me to help you? Because he said like, you have helped many people win competition and I want you to help me to win. And I give him a very realistic answer. Bro, you're competing in non-tested competition and there's prize money.
Exactly.
People will enhance to the max.
Yes.
So what happened? He went up to the stage, he just go down. Why? Because it's so natural. Like it's so obvious, natural and not natural people, unless you're gifted.
Exactly.
Right? So for those who do not want to be disappointed competing in enhanced competition whereby you're natural, just, commit yourself or set a goal to compete in a natural competition like WNBF.
I think adding on to your point, I'm not talking about your athlete in particular, but then For people like who were natural, they competed in non-tested organizations, they're gonna go down two routes. They're gonna quit competing, or they're gonna start using drugs.
True.
And that's not what we want to see when we started going to the gym. Going back to your motivation. Going to the gym was you want to be healthy, you want to look good, but do you want to look good at any cost?
Right.
Of your health, we know the side effects of PEDS.
Right.
You can Google. There's a lot of information out there, YouTube, TikTok, wherever. So having WNBF in Malaysia, part of our vision is that providing an option for people who wants a fair game and they don't want to touch any drugs.
The definition of fair game means it's not people that use steroid is a cheater. It's just that when they use steroid and compete in a natural show are cheaters.
Exactly.
So now people have choice. Like in Melbourne, you can compete in a tested and non-tested. So they have their own choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome, bro. Really awesome.
Yeah.
Now, give us 3 best advice you could share regards to transforming a body and competing as a natural athlete. For those who ever wants to compete naturally, 3 best advice.
Okay. I have a few. The first one is you need to have a flexible plan, I would say. Because everyone who started going to the gym or started anything out of your comfort zone, maybe I want to start reading a book, I want to start doing this, I want to start doing that, I want to learn this, learn that. Same thing goes to the gym. If you don't have a flexible plan and also a small goals towards that goal, big goal of yours, you're going to get fed up and going back to that situation, you're going to quit or you're going to start looking for shortcuts. You need to have a flexible plan. So allow emergency, unexpected things to happen, and you can still adjust your training, your diet according to the situation that you are dealing with, and also but still making steps towards your goal.
Right.
So set small steps goal towards that big goal and have a flexible plan. And the second one, I would say that you need to be okay. These advice I'm giving is at the basis of you should train properly, you should eat properly according to get to your goal already. So have a flexible plan and also be very consistent. So because in natural bodybuilding, nothing comes quick. Even
Very
if
true.
You touch on like some people who are very gifted.
Yeah.
Even if you are gifted, if you don't do anything, you're nothing.
Very true.
Right?
Right.
I think you should be familiar with a study having 4 groups of people. They do only exercise, group A, group B, exercise with PEDs,
Right.
and then PEDs only, and the group C and then group D is doing nothing at all. Because the reason why we say if you using drugs is somewhat a shortcut is because that group of people, group C, they only take PED and no exercise. They still grow more muscle over 3 months than the group that only exercise and don't take drugs.
Right.
So that is a shortcut at the cost of your health. If you do it for long term, there's a lot of news saying that bodybuilders died at age of 30 plus, 40 plus.
Right.
So be consistent, be patient with knowing that what you're trying to achieve is not going to come fast, have right expectation of outcomes. And then the last one, I would say that having a good guidance, because right now there are a lot of information out there. Everyone can share anything on social media, TikTok.
Yeah.
So if you are following some old school bodybuilding split, chest day, back day, arms day,
Right.
I wouldn't say that that's the most effective. I don't do that sort of training anymore. I did that, I think 7 years ago. Now I'm doing a more holistic approach to training. I believe.
Please define.
Yeah, I believe you do also. So what I do is I have a full body day.
Right.
Full body doesn't mean that you do one exercise for each body part in that day. That would come up to like 10 exercises. Right. So my split is basically a full body. Sometimes I have a lower body. Sometimes I have only upper body. And the split shouldn't be dictating your training. The split should complement towards your recovery and also your frequency of training. So if you have full body upper and push in 1 week, you're basically training your chest or shoulders 3 times a week instead of chest day once a week, shoulder day once a week. So having better frequency, have more growth. So just to share a few points, which is why I said having a proper guidance, a coach, a good friend of yours that is experienced, that is qualified, it's very important so that you don't waste time, because time is very important. As natural athletes, if you waste 2 years doing something that we know won't work, you wasted 2 years. So yeah, that's what I would say. So I would actually, I would like to preach, if someone out there, if you're trying to stay natural, go for a coach that perhaps is also natural.
Yes.
Or he knows what he's doing, instead of just some big dudes. You see them big, but you should know that if they're using any substance to achieve that sort of physics, and if those coaches are using drugs or PEDs, the methods that they give you for a natural athlete, it's not going to apply to you. You won't be able to benefit from that same sort of training style. So that's
okay. I'm going to add on that part. Yeah, with regards to hiring a coach, regardless qualified or not, who are enhanced. I'm one of them that hire a coach that train enhanced athlete back in Australia.
Okay.
I had a coach back in Australia. So why I hired him is because I'm attracted to all his athletes. Oh, this dude, this big, that big. Maybe he's the right person to train me and become like them. Because I wasn't aware about steroids. I wasn't aware. I do know people take steroids, but I thought or assumed that if you train with him, it's a guarantee for him to transform you into a pro or a massive dude. So why not, viewers, listeners, find someone that do not speak so much about steroids and also spending too much money on supplement. They should share more towards how you should implement your lifestyle with proper nutrition and exercise, how you should manage your stress, because you do know if those kind of people their approach are very holistic. You have to focus on nutrition, you have to focus on sleep. It's very boring topic.
Exactly.
But it's the fact. I do have friends that compete enhanced, and they will just tell you, don't worry, the most important, push as hard as you can until you fail. Next week, keep adding more weights.
Yeah,
they enhance, of course they can do that. You cannot cope up. Natural people cannot cope up. So find a coach that practice what they preach and make sure that these are the people that focuses more towards holistic approach.
exactly.
That's my view. So, okay. Thank you for sharing that 3 tips.
No worries.
And how do the viewer and listener could find you?
Okay. Personally, my social media is at SimShreds. Sim exactly like the SIM card. Shreds is shredding. So SIMSHREDS. That's my personal social media handle for almost everything. And most importantly, follow WNBF Malaysia at WNBF MY. Also on Instagram. We are very active on Instagram. We are trying to keep up with our Facebook because I think most users are still sticking to Instagram as of the moment. The reason why I said follow us is that instead of just organizing competition events, we also do university talks.
Nice.
So that, like you said, youngsters, people who are still new to bodybuilding, gym training, we want to raise the awareness of there is drugs out there. There will be people telling you that this is a supplement,
right?
Okay, but we know it's not supplement, right? It's illegal, but it's just that the law that our country or most countries have is not too strict on how to taking actions towards it yet. Okay. It's not like heroin,
right?
So heroin, you get it, it's serious, but this it's forbidden, but you know, it's gray area. So that we want to raise awareness. We want to provide options for young athletes because it's getting young nowadays. Drug use or drug abuse. So we went into UCSI University, and we have another one planned. And then after our show next year, we're gonna focus more giving talks to university students,
Nice.
or perhaps in future we have more activities with university students.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so for those who keen, maybe not to participate as in competing, to view, to watch this show,
Yep.
when and where will it be held?
Okay. Our first ever competition organized by WNBF is called the First Naturals.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Nice.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, the first natural will be held on the 27th and 28th of October. I'm not sure when this is going up, but it's 27th and 28th of October. It is located at PJPAC, Petaling Jaya Performing Arts Center,
Okay, I know where is it.
inside of One Utama Shopping Mall. So it's not open event; it's a private event. So you have to go to the shopping mall, navigate yourself into the Performing Arts Center, PJ Pack, and then tickets are being sold at onetix.com.
Can I buy online?
Yes, it's only sold online. Okay. So we have two types of ticket. We have a standard and VIP. The information, everything is in WNBFMY.com.
Okay.
Or just navigate to our Instagram. The link is in the bio.
Awesome.
Yes. Welcome to come watch the event.
Right.
A side note, a lot of people think that natural bodybuilding isn't as fun as the enhanced bodybuilding, but you should come see it for yourself.
Right.
It's gonna be crazy.
Looking forward for that.
Yeah.
So guys, for those who are not ready to compete yet, but just want to get the aura or the feeling, why not go and check it out this coming October. All right. So again,
Will you be there?
I'll drop by for sure.
For sure.
Have a look.
I'll see you there. I'll see you there.
Again, Sims, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for traveling all the way
It's all right. I'm from Penang.
from
actually.
Penang, guys, from Penang.
Yeah.
So hopefully in future, looking forward to see Sims compete. When is that? Anytime soon? Maybe he's not going to tell us yet.
I think next year.
Next year.
I think next year. Yeah.
So in Malaysia or abroad?
I can't compete in Malaysia because I'm organizing the event. Technically I can, but it's not gonna look good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna travel outside. Yeah.
Make us proud. Make Malaysia proud.
I'll try. Yep.
Okay. Sims, again, thank you very much. Hopefully to see you again in future.
Thank you too.
Take care. Peace out, guys.